baby. It's nuts. It is nuts, Oaks. Oaks, all I'm saying. We've done 10 to 4. And now we're in the juice. Now we are in the real conversation. The real conversation. So, the thing is, with the top 3, right? You have arguments for putting any player on top of the other. And pretty much whatever argument you could say is correct from depending on what sort of points of view you come from. So I think coming into the top 3, any of these players could, as I said, arguably be the best in the country. Could have that number 1 next to their name, in my opinion. Again, my opinion. Any of these players could have that. However, with that being said, my reasoning is due to the impact they have in the server, in TeamSpeak, overall in the game, and not based purely off the kill deaths at the end of at the end of the match, or things like that. As I did previously with people like Blaze, who, as I said, may not have massive kills at the end of the game, but he still has massive impact, stuff like that. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind when you watch this video through. You arguably watch number 2 through, and you arguably watch number 1 through. Because I think, as I said, anyone can make an argument for any of these top 3 players being number 1. But all I'm saying is coming in at my number 3 position is Fady. Okay, so, as I said, the reasoning is Fady absolutely bangs. I mean, let's not beat around the bush. Absolutely insane firepower in the server. Pops heads, puts up insane numbers, genuine. But the reason why I put him at number 3 is because of that exact reason. He bangs. He's more of a lurk role. He has the ability to put up really good numbers, and he just pops heads constantly throughout the servers. So the reason why I haven't put him higher is because I think overall the impact he has in the server is not as high as the players I have put above him. But be there as it may, I'm going to stop talking about the players I put above and rather talk about Fady as the player he is. And as you see, the stats don't lie. Absolutely unreal stats. This is a match he played against Energy, which was in Soestronk or Nodwin. Absolutely unreal. 32 kills. Nuts. 2.03 rating. 32 for 12. This is the ESA Open Season 34 against Goliath. Nuts. 45 for 18, top of the server. Absolutely unreal. Game.Cup number 1, 9th of August 2020. Nuts. 52 for 29 plus 23. But, with all that being said, the demo we're specifically going to look at is in the final of Telkom VS Gaming Masters 2020, where Fady banged out. He banged out. Dynamic, as I said previously, a bit of a wild card coming into the final. No one really expecting them to beat Goliath. However, they did. Came into a final against an extremely strong ATK side. And Fady, he showed up. 79 for 46, averaged over 100 ADR, and absolutely banged out on the CT side of Mirage. And this is specifically the demo we're going to look at because he genuinely played unreal, out of his mind. We're going to see what Fady is made of, why I've put him as number 3, why he's in the top 3, why you can make an argument for him being number 1. So, I mean, we're just going to feast our eyes on what this player has, his ability, his capability, his absolute unreal ability to put up genuinely phenomenal numbers in the server. Genuinely phenomenal 25, 30, 35 kills in a single map. And we saw this. We saw this against Goliath. We see it against ATK. I mean, not ATK, what am I saying? We see it against DNMK. Absolutely unreal player. He's got experience. He's been overseas for a prolonged period of time. He's come back to SA. He's going to get ready to go overseas. Oof. That's what we're going to be started off on. He gets dinked for 7. Bro, that's what we're going to get started off on. He only gets 1, but I mean, like, come on. Come on. Reese Armstrong, the man, the myth, the legend. The absolutely unreal player. But, as I was saying, we see him put up absolutely unreal numbers against the top teams in the country, and he has been one of the players who has been absolutely pivotal for ATK's reign in South Africa specifically this past year. He's genuinely the player who you think that he's a scary player. If he pops, you're gonna have a real tough time coming up against him in the server, and he's definitely one of the players who similar to Massacre. If he pops, he can seriously carry the other 4 of his teammates. But ATK haven't needed that happen. Actually gets wrecked by Nexus there. ATK haven't needed that to be the case. Still put up absolutely unreal numbers. But I mean, this is genuinely nuts. What sort of things, what sort of numbers that he's able to put up in the server. Genuinely an unreal player. Super plays with such confidence. Holds the most ballsy angles just because of how good his mechanical ability is, and we're going to see that throughout this demo. 22-9. And remember, something to keep in mind is every time you see he goes around without a kill, just understand that there's a multi-kill round, that there's another multi-kill round we get to see. So this round, he's only got a Deagle. Goliath, they're going to push B. Dweezil actually hits an absolutely unreal spray transfer on Doru. I mean, if Doru's watching this video and he remembers that, I watched the demo back, and I saw that spray transfer of Dweezil. It was genuinely nuts. Nothing really to write home about in that round. He had to make some sort of a plan. It didn't work. But now we're into the business. We're into where Fady shines. Rifle in his hand, and he's really able to take pretty much whatever aim duel he wants. He can. That's literally what's so strong about Fady and how he chooses to play the game. He can genuinely take whatever aim duel he wants and be the favorite in that aim duel regardless. I think he's overall a phenomenal player. He's definitely going to be pivotal to how ATK choose to perform overseas. And he is... Ooh, you see, he has so little bullets in his gun, and he's still... Very nice, very nice. I think he's definitely going to be pivotal to ATK's performance overseas. He's going to be one of the swing players. If he performs at a high level, if he performs well, ATK will perform well. Actually gets taken up by Nexus there. If he performs well, ATK will perform well. If he doesn't perform well, I think there's still other players on ATK that can still pick up the slack and still perform at a real high level and still absolutely wreck the enemy team. But however, I do think as straight up frag potential goes, as straight up numbers on the scoreboard goes, I think Fady's definitely up there in the conversation for out of the ATK players who you are most scared of. When you look at the 5 of ATK and you look up the straight up frag potential that they have, I think Fady has to be in that conversation. He definitely has to be in that conversation for when you're looking at their 5, regardless of the 5 you're looking at in the server now, which is with Doru, or the 5 you will be looking at in the server, which is with Mango. He has to be in the conversation for the star player on the team, the absolutely unreal putting up numbers sort of player. He's genuinely a phenomenal aspect, and as I said, he's going to be looking to take whatever aim duel he can, just as he did onto the man in ramp. And he's a player where you can anchor bomb sites. He's more of a lurk roll on the T side, where he can just tear apart one side of the map, pretty much doing as he wishes, making sure he doesn't give the CTs free information and just take all the aim duels he wants in the world, you know. I think, as I said, he's a top player, and when 8K do choose to go overseas, he's definitely going to be one of those players you're going to be looking out for at the end on the HLTV profiles. Where does he come? Where does he fare up in the other players in the server? And more often than not, he's going to be near the top end of that. He gets hard cleared by Nexus. So Nexus has actually had the better of him so far this map. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Nexus has actually pocketed Fady at the start. But there's one. Nice kill onto Heartbreak. There's 2. There's 3. Oof. As easy as you like. Oof. Oof. And now he's got an AK on CT side. Oof, that was rough. That was rough. For dynamic, that is. Oof. Sick frags, real sick frags. And now Fady with an AK on CT side. That is not something you want to be on the end of. I'll tell you that much. That is not something you want to be on the end of. Say hits coming out. It's going to be a palace pop. Nade towards default. Gets 1. Going to try to take more of these aim duels. Catch Dweezil trying to jump stairs. That's 2. Bomb's going to be planted. He knows one's Tetris. He knows one's planter. Nexus actually hits a nice shot onto Slowy, but Dodo trades him out eventually. Oof. So, I think when me and Matt were casting this game, there's a missed AWP shot over towards middle. When me and Hayes were casting this game, we were talking about, in South Africa, Fady is arguably one of the best Mirage players. The reason being is just because of his sheer aiming capabilities. Oh no, we've seen a 64 tick one-way smoke. No ways. No ways he gets a kill. That's what he gets for throwing an smoke like that. No cap. But I think me and Matt were talking before the game. Me and Hayes, and we were thinking like top players in South Africa on Mirage. One of them has to be Fady, just because we see him consistently putting up insane numbers on this map, just because of how confident he is holding these angles, how confident he is taking any sort of aim duel, and we see why. Just his crosshair placement impeccable, the way he takes his aim duels, his positioning, his just pretty much anything. He is genuinely a phenomenal player. Okay, they're actually going to exit gate, so I'm actually going to hold my thought. A good flash coming out means Muslim can get 1, 2. Fady's actually going to come help him out. There's another one. Flash plays. Second. Dweezil eventually gets him. How's it, guys? My name's Fady, and I'm always good for 2. That's pretty much it's his slogan. I'm telling you that now. But as I was saying, I think there's 2 real players in the conversation for the top Mirage players in South Africa, just because of how good their aim is, how much confidence they play with, how they choose to take these gunfights, and Fady is definitely one of them. It genuinely feels like he just locks onto the enemy's head and really plays top CS in the meantime. So he is going to be playing over towards A lot more often than not. He's going to find a lot of comfort towards balcony, under balcony, taking these aim duels whenever he needs to, and he's the player that's going to be anchoring the side of the map. So his team's gone 4v4, so he's going to be searching for a bit of information while his teammates are going to choose to pinch apps at the same time. Great frag onto Nexus. He saw another one walk out ramps, he's just going to buy some time, smoking a flash. Really powerful smoke on default there. T's can't really push you. Oof, a silent jump up on towards default. Sick frag onto the man. I mean, what's there to say, really? Like, what's there to say? What's there to say, bro? Like, this man is insane. Just the way, like, look at his confidence. Like, Slowy's got his top middle, he's gonna post down on lowers. Just for some reference, for the people who don't know, this isn't the biggest game of the year. This is 3rd map, best of 5 series against Dynamic. You know, you're 2-0 up. Maybe the confidence is up, the confidence is high. You're playing for your share of 250 grand. Biggest comp of the year, and he's a big game player. Fady's definitely a big game player and extremely scary to play up against. I feel like that's all I'm gonna say pretty much the whole time. It's just Fady's scary, Fady's nuts, because I can't reiterate it enough. In all honesty, I really can't. But one thing to keep note of is just how Fady plays this sort of position. So usually what connector players do is they drop that connector smoke super early, which you don't have to do. You should only really drop that smoke when they put pressure on middle like they are doing now, so you can help out your window player if he's jumped cats or something like that. You don't have to always drop it. Okay, a bit of a delayed reaction there, but he got it eventually. You don't always have to drop it 5 seconds when you get to connect. You don't always have to throw in the corner and peek towards top and middle, because that smoke's actually quite valuable. Remember, smoke is 18 seconds in length, and you only need to drop that smoke if you're feeling mid presence. Slowy in that scenario, he had the mid info. Fady didn't have to drop the smoke, and if you don't have to drop the smoke just yet, it's sick, because you can buy yourself extra time for them not to push your position. So then he only drops the smoke eventually when Slowy falls off of middle or feels extremely pressured. Then he's able to help out with the one way towards lowers, allowing him not to get pushed from lowers and from bottom mid, stuff like that. So that's just something definitely to keep in mind. So he's dropped it early now because there's this deep cat smoke coming in, so Slowy rather doesn't have this info, so he's going to be holding for this mid aggro really quickly. Now he's actually going to play towards stairs, because he notices A hits coming in. He gets one into the man, falls back, and actually flashes over for his teammates on triple. Really good. He's actually going to choose not to peek with the flashbangs, but he's going to hold for this cross towards default. He's actually going to get shot in the back from connector, which, I mean, it happens. That lowest lurk can come into great effect, and you can see how it goes. But we're already at the last round just because Fady's been genuinely popping off and putting up really good numbers. And late top mid smoke, and he's still going to get all this info. Great frag towards top and middle. But Fady's that player where he has a casual sick frag. He has a casual 25 kills a game, you know. He does his job. Casual 27 now and again. In this case, 33, 18, 22 rather than the half, you know. Top class player, top class player. And as I said, I think moving overseas, he's already done it before, he's already done it once. It's going to be his second shot at it. It's going to be interesting to see what sort of numbers he puts up at the highest level, playing against good competition. Actually gets taken out by Nexus there, but it's going to be exciting to see what sort of numbers as a whole that Fady and the team put up. All my best wishes go to them. It's always nice to see local players succeed overseas, and I think it's going to be interesting. Finishes 11-4, but I mean, what's there much really to say with here? You know, like Fady, we know absolutely top class player, genuinely unreal, phenomenal, pretty much all around. No, that's not 14 for 10. What am I saying? Top of the scoreboard in Inferno, second top on Nuke, top of the scoreboard on Mirage. Like genuinely phenomenal all year round. Big. If it's a big game, he's gonna show up. If it's an important game and he has to put up numbers, he's gonna do it. I think Fady is definitely one player to keep an eye on when he goes overseas, and I think he's definitely an exciting player who can be the swing factor for ATK when they get to NA. He can be the swing factor for taking them past those 15-14 to get that 16-14. He can be that player who turns up with a very important multi-kill round, etc., etc. So I think it's definitely going to be exciting how he performs. But he's going to be number 3 on my list. And as I said, you could have made an argument for even putting him higher up as second or maybe even as first. But you guys are going to have to wait for that. That's all I'm saying. So it has been Fady coming in at 3. I've been Nick. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And as I say every time, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, be sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon to know when I upload next. Share it with someone. Sharing the video helps a lot. And yeah, tune in tomorrow at 3 p.m. when the next video is going to go live. And you guys will see who comes in at number 2, which will be interesting. And maybe a bit controversial. But you'll never know. Because you'll have to wait and find out tomorrow at 3 p.m. Which could make arguments for second being first and first being second. You could make arguments for third being second and third being first and first being third and second being third. Stuff like that, you know. We out here. But I think it's going to be interesting. So yeah, tomorrow 3 p.m. Be there to find out what number 2 is and see if you're going to be upset or not. Because it's going to be exciting. By the way, Oaks, catch you in the flip.